Have you ever done a renovation at home? Have you ever purchased a new home or done some sort of planning for an event, let's say? Was the first thing you focused on the color of the bathroom that you're about to have? Like, was that the first thing that you thought, like, what paint color should I pick? Or did you look at, like, what kind of layout do I want? Do I want two sinks or do I want one? Do I want a tub with my shower or just a stall? Do I want a toilet and a bidet or just a toilet? Like, did you look at that first? Or did you look at what style of baseboards you're going to have? What color paint? What photo are you hanging in that washroom? You see there that there's details that happened that maybe we'll focus on at some point, but they probably should be focused on a little bit down the road. Like when you were purchasing a new home, were you worried about what colors you're going to pick in each one of the rooms that you have? Or were you looking at, is it a two-door garage? Do I have a walkout basement? Is there room for my family to grow into it? Is there some area, is the kitchen what I need it to be? Like, were you looking at the big rocks, the big details, or the small little, what kind of pattern am I going to use on my tile? Am I going to use like a vertical pattern or a horizontal pattern? Of course, these details make a difference. I can understand why you want to, at some point, focus on that detail. But first, you got to focus on the big things, the most important things, the major meat and potatoes, as they call it, when it comes to food. You got to focus on the big things before you can focus on the little things. And sitting there and worrying about the time of day you're eating and the little details and, how much carbs versus how much fat and, how many meals I should have in a day. And is it better to do, 35 minutes of this one workout or 40 minutes? Like, those details are not as important, especially at the beginning, especially if you're not getting the amount of steps that you need, especially if you're not getting enough sleep, especially if you're not in a calorie deficit, if you're not resistant. Like, these things are not as important as the big rocks. Let's say you're planning an event. Are you thinking about the color of the tablecloths? I get you maybe have a theme, but you're not looking at every little detail first. First, you're probably saying, like, how many people am I inviting so I know how big of a room I need? Or, should I have a lunch or dinner? Should it be like should it be a buffet? Or like, you're looking at the big things first, right? And I want you to start taking this sort of mindset that you're going to be taking in other aspects of your life and applying it here. And then once you've got the major things down pat, then we start adding in these layers of complexity, because the reasons why you're not succeeding are not the details. 9 times out of 10, it's not the details that are the reason why you're not getting to your goal. It's more than likely the consistency of the big rocks, the accuracy of the big rocks, before it is the details of what might be affecting your goal. And again, we might get to the point where I shouldn't say might, because I believe that most people who work with me, they end up at some point looking at the details. I can think of people right off the top of my head, like maybe a half dozen people, at least currently right now listening to this, who are focusing on the details because they've gotten to that point. Now, I want everyone to get to that point, but more importantly, we worry about the big things first and the details later, because it's not important what color your bathroom is if you can't fit in the shower, if you can't both brush your teeth at the same time, if there's a lineup to use the washroom because there's only one in the whole house. There's some big important things to focus on, and those are the big rocks. So I'll keep on bringing back to this all the time because it's that important.